Alright, here are all the materials close up that I'm using on this project. So this is kind of elaborate project, so if you are interested in embossing, and this is not dry embossing, this is using the heat tool from Stampin' Up, so I'll be using that. Oops, and I'm also using the Versamark for embossing. I'm using the 2 3/8 Scallop Punch, which is discontinuing as soon as they're sold out. And then I'm also using the 2-inch punch, which is not discontinuing. The copper embossing powder, watermelon wonder ink pad, Aqua Painter, and I'm also using the Affectionately Yours washi tape. So I'm so excited. If you guys, when you guys get the new catalog from me in the mail, you guys are going to be so excited. Everything coordinates. That's one of the reasons why I signed back up with Stampin' Up! Last spring, not even a year ago, was because everything coordinated, and it was just awesome. I didn't have to run from craft store to craft store. So this is Affectionately Yours, this is Affectionately Yours, this stamp set's called Love and Affection, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do, let's just go ahead and emboss first, and I don't know why I have this paper here, just probably to confuse me, because I don't need it. Like, what? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and I will pull the items that I'm going to use. I'm just going to use a little bit here, a little bit there, the Aqua Painter, the punches. I've already punched the scallop with the Watermelon Wonder, so I didn't have to do that. And then we're going to use that. I've already cut the paper that I'm using. All right. So here is now what I have. And I'm just going to need the Versamark for this. I'm going to need a background paper that I'm going to pour my embossing powder on. I am also using the Embossing Buddy. This helps with static, so the embossing powder doesn't stick everywhere. You know what I'm talking about. I'm going to adjust my camera just a bit. There you go. Alright, and the first thing we're going to start with is this piece here of Dapper Denim, and it's cut at 3 1/4 or 3 1/2, my new favorite size for a layer, by 4 3/4. Okay, so we're going to lay this here, and the stamp that we're using is just the little like background foliage piece, like I don't know if you call it a fern or something else. We're going to first take our Embossing Buddy and just lightly put it on there, and there is going to be a little powder residue, so I just kind of, maybe it defeats the purpose, but I kind of wipe it off a little bit so you can't see it, and we don't need that just yet. Okay, now the first thing and second thing and third thing, all we're going to worry about right now is making our own background paper using this embossing powder and this Versamark. So I'm going to do half at a time. So I'm going to do the left side first, and I'm just going to kind of randomly, you guys can put them however you want it, put however you want them. Okay, so that's good for me. That's all I want on this side. I should have had this open first. Okay, so I'm just going to pour it on here and then tap it off. And you guys see how it just has the powder right now on that side. And then I'm going to go ahead and just stamp right here. Pull it off to the side. Stamp the other ones I want. Try not to touch the powder. And I'm going to stamp on my background. You guys might want a different background paper for that, or to use the Stampin' Up! grid paper. Okay. Now I'm going to carefully bring it back over here, and I'm going to pour, oops, I poured a little, doesn't really matter, but I poured a lot. Okay, so I have this, and now it's all ready to emboss. The good thing about having a piece of paper and having it folded in half, you just go like this, and then you take your container, and I can just quickly pour it back in. Isn't that so nice? And then we're going to use that again in just a minute, so we'll just set it aside. And you can use some sort of tweezers or something like that when you're using a smaller piece, but for me, I'm just going to hold it on one side. I'm going to aim the tool away from me, and I'm having it, it's going to be on 2, the number 2 setting, and just have it away from you. And I'm not doing the part by my fingers, I'm doing it away. So watch what happens. This is when the magic happens. You could probably see it in just a second. Changing the consistency and the color, it's like magic. And I'm not even kidding you. When you emboss, it is seriously like you're doing a magic trick. Isn't that so awesome? So I'm just going to do all the leaves here. They're changing colors. I don't know how well you guys can see that on the camera. But I hope you can see it really well. Okay, and now I'm just going to switch sides. Be careful, it's going to be a little bit warm on your fingers. You can let it sit for a second if you want. Okay. Ta-da! So I have this here, and do you see how it's just so beautiful in the copper? So pretty. And I made that myself. Yeah, I did. It's really super awesome when you can emboss yourself. I love it. Okay, so now for this next one, we're going to go ahead and stamp. First, we're using the flower. As you can tell, this is the same one I used from that card. I can't remember if I did a video for it or not. I know I posted pictures. I can't remember what I show videos for anymore and what I don't. Okay, I need my copper. I'm going to have it ready. I need my paper. And I need my Versamark. And I'm going to go ahead and ink this up here. So ink up your flower. I'm going to stamp it about right here. And I'm using the little centerpiece too, I forgot. The little centerpiece. And you can't really see it very well white on white, so I'm going to do my best, and hopefully it lined up good enough. And I forgot to use the Embossing Buddy on this, but you can probably get off any little spots. You can. There we go. This one wasn't too bad. Sometimes on the darker colors you can just really see it a lot more. Okay. That is all I'm doing for this. Let me go ahead and put away my embossing powder. And I am not going to have a sentiment on the outside of this card. It's going to be called what I call a note card. So you can make this card for any occasion. And it's so good to just have some that don't have any sentiments on them. And so you can just grab them for Mother's Day, birthday, thinking of you, get well soon. You can write whatever note you want to on the inside. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with this. So we're just going to emboss it up. This one doesn't take as long because my heat gun is warmed up. Okay, there we go. Make sure I have it all nice and melted, and I do. Can you guys see that very well? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to let that cool for just a second. Guess who's here? That sounds like Lyle. I'm getting a huge order today from my Remarkable You class. Part of my shipment is arriving today, so got a lot of packages. I can't wait. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm taking my Watermelon Wonder Pad, and I'm taking the Aqua Painter, and it's already filled with water. You just fill it with water. You get 2 different size brush tips in your kit, in your kit. Make sure that it's good to store it either empty or it's good to store it like upside down. I think I had mine the other way, so the water is at the very top of it. Okay, and it's good to have a paper towel too. So you can use your ink pads like a watercolor palette by just squeezing them together or squeezing the lid on it. And you have your palette right here. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of go like this and get whatever color you want, and it might be really full of water. You can always add color on. You don't want it too dark at first. So I'm just coloring in the copper, and I'm just lightly doing it. If you like to color, and I know those coloring books are really in right now actually, this is a really great technique for you. You'll probably really enjoy it. Okay. I don't want to speed it up. I want you guys to see all of it. Sorry. I'm okay with not speeding it up. Okay. Then you can like, oops, see I put a little bit too much on that one, but I can just blend it in a little bit better. Okay. All right. Okay. So we've got a nice little watercolored cute little thing, and you can run this clear on a paper towel, which I don't have in front of me right now. Close my lid. Okay, so now I'm going to take the 1-inch circle, I'm sorry, the 2-inch circle punch. And I'm going to punch that out. And let's go ahead and assemble our card. I must have had water everywhere. Okay, so now I have a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of watermelon Wonder Cardstock. Fold that in half. It's going to be ready to go. And I'm using, this is 4 by 5.25, and this has that copper in it. This is part of that designer series paper, the Affectionately Yours, and it coordinates with the stamp set and these great colors, and you can get the cardstock pack that comes with 3 colors and lots of cardstock, lots of fun stuff. Okay, so we're going to take this here, and I'm going to take some of my washi tape. I'm going to use the one that has, this also has copper. I don't know if you can tell very well. And I am just going to just do a couple little pieces right here. 1 and 2. Just like that. And I just put it right on my table, and then I just fold it over. Like so. Now let's assemble the whole thing together. Where's my snail? Okay, we're using the snail adhesive. And I'm going to put that right on top of my designer series paper. Let me give you guys a better angle here. I'm going to zoom in for you too. It's a treat. All right. And then I'm also going to add this on my watermelon cardstock. Aren't these beautiful colors together? I just love them. Okay, and now we're going to take our adhesive here and put it on the back of my pretty flower. And it's on the Scallop Punch. And now we're going to flip it over. And I'm going to use Stampin Dimensionals and do 1, 2, 3. That's the magic number. And I'm just going to put my cute flower, where do I want it? I want it like this. I want it right here. And then here's the other card that I made earlier today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this technique. I cannot wait for the new catalog to come out June 1st, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Bye!